All right, we are back. I've mentioned this a couple of times, but the nice thing about the last few storms we've gotten is the all snow effect, even on the coast.
Yeah.
But the nice thing from what you're saying about the next one is even if it ices over a little bit on the coast at the end and it's after the snow, that's really important, actually.
That's a great point, right? Because the snow will absorb, any kind of like sleet pellets, or if it's even freezing drizzle or something.
And create a little barrier between surfaces, right? So that it doesn't stick as much.
Yeah, especially like walking around, just kind of, I would leave, it's only going to be like 3 inches anyway of snow.
It's not the amount, it's the timing and type, right?
So the timing is not good, but if you leave that snow out there and you can provide yourself a little bit of traction in case it ices over a tiny bit. But this one, not a big one. We've had much bigger events recently. It's just poor timing for tomorrow morning. It's cold out there again this morning. Not quite as cold as yesterday, but we're still at 0 in Bangor and 5 in Lewiston. There are teens along the coastline, but there's also a little bit of wind along the coastline. So if you're in the teens at the coast, it feels like the single digits with the rest of us. And there are some really cold spots across far northern Maine where it's way below 0, not only feeling like it, but also on the temperature, on the thermometers. So we've got high pressure protecting us at the moment from this storm, which is bringing problems to the mid-Atlantic. But it's going to give way to this one, and this is the one that will move in late tonight and be with us for tomorrow morning. We get that thump of snow on the front end and a few sleet pellets and maybe a raindrop or two in the tail end. Clear and quiet for your morning drive. Really cold again, though, and there is that biting breeze for the coastline. Middle of the day, I still expect a lot of sun across the 2 states. We'll have below average temperatures, though. We're going to stay in the 20s today. Not a lot of wind, but it will be somewhat noticeable at times, especially near the coastline. It'll be out of the northeast today. End of the day, the cloud deck will begin to increase, expand, and grow. There won't be any precipitation for your evening drive home, not only if you leave early from work or if it's late and if you got a meeting at the end of the day or you got to stay a little later to finish up a project, you're going to be fine. I don't expect snowflakes until closer to midnight. And some of us won't have cloud cover at sunset so that you'll be able to see the full moon come up. And for February, it's the snow moon. And isn't that fitting for the next event coming in later on tonight? This is midnight, starting to see some flakes near the New Hampshire border. It gets steadier by 3 in the morning or so for a lot of western and southern Maine, so that by daybreak, there'll be about 1 inch of snow on the ground. And by daybreak, that leading edge of the snow has gotten all the way up through Bangor and Bar Harbor and beyond. So during the morning commute, it is snowing at a moderate clip and creating a mess for the morning commute everywhere in the state. And that's why I think there'll be a lot of delays, if not cancellations. Now, as we go through the morning, mid-morning, 9, 10 o'clock, milder air is going to start to work in above our heads, and that's going to change things over to sleet across the south. And perhaps above freezing along the coastline. I'm not too optimistic about that, where we just get a plain raindrop. I think it's more that we see some sleet or perhaps even a little glaze of freezing drizzle. Midday, it's tapering off across the south, but still snowing or sleeting for eastern and northern Maine. And then mid-afternoon, it's completely over across the south and ending for the east and for the north, except across far northern Maine, where they're getting the jackpot for snow. And it may be as much as a foot now. We've increased the high-end total for the rooftop of the state right up along the Canadian border. A lot of us see 3 to as much as 6 inches. I'd probably shy away from that 6-inch amount at this point. It's probably more like 3, 4 inches. And then across far southern parts of our state, York County, Seacoast, New Hampshire, we're going to get a little bit more mixing here. So I think it's 1 to 3 inches in this area with some sleet and perhaps some rain on top of that as it winds down. This moves out. It's blustery and turning colder on Valentine's Day. Saturday is a nice start to the weekend. Go out and have some fun in all the snow that's around the state right now. And it looks as if we're going to get more. This storm system has bigger potential. There'll be a battle between cold to our north and warm to our south. And in the winter months, the cold usually wins out in some way, shape, or form. We'll probably end up with snow on the front end, several inches, and then doing some mixing with some ice. And the ice threat is pretty high with this. all day Sunday, tapering off Sunday night. So stay tuned on that one. Gale warning, seas 2 to 3 feet, northeast wind 10 to 20 knots. Mix of sun and clouds today, highs in the 20s, cold out there. Late tonight, snow arrives. It will continue through the morning commute, and then it'll go over to that wintry mix for a brief time before ending early in the afternoon. Sunny and windy on Valentine's Day, highs in the 20s. Even colder on Saturday with increasing clouds. And then we've got another mess coming in for the end of the weekend. Snow will probably end up changing over to some sleet and freezing rain Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. And then as that moves out, we get blasted with some cold air. Tuesday, only 14 degrees.
Glad we stopped calling it global warming.
Right.
Changed to
Yeah,
climate
this
change.
winter, yeah, exactly.
All right.
Jeez.
Sorry to open that can of worms.
No, it's all good.
We'll move on.